Hi, so this video is about setting up and running Shetran, but not just for the water flow component, but for the sediment component, using the sediment component or the snow component. So it's very similar to the last easy setup. You go to easy setup sediment, examples, at Kildwick Bridge. These files are identical to the ones from the water flow simulation. The difference comes when you go to program. Okay, so there's three executables as before. Shetran prepare, so this one's got a sediment in, so that produces the input files for running the Shetran sediment component. The main Shetran executable is the same, version 4.4.5, and start.exe, which we'll use first runs the prepare one with the sediment, and then standard executable. So I'm going to start that off. I'll go to the right folder. I better just check sediments, examples, there at Kildwick Bridge, and select the XML file. Seems a bit slow today. There it is. It's very slow. Okay, so it's now running the standard Shetran simulation. But while it's running, I will go and show the input files. Example, and here are the input files. They're very similar to before, but there are a few important differences. Firstly, this run data file. This has this SYD file here. So that's a new file which I'll look at in a moment, and that's the input file, and it produces this output file as well. So if you go to the FRD file, the difference here is this line, these two lines here. This is true here, this one here, and that means it's running the sediment component. And then we've got this new SYD file here. These are all the parameters to run the sediment component. I'm not going to go through them. And finally, the visualization plan has been changed. We've got all these new things from here, or even here, down to the bottom. And that's saying how much sediment's coming out of the catchment, and also things here like depth of loose sediment and erosion. So if we go back here, it's still not finished. So I will pause this for a moment. Okay, so the simulation is now finished. Press enter, get rid of that screen. And here are the output files. They're pretty similar to the standard water flow one. The only difference is you've got this SPR one, which is any errors in the sediment code. This will be printed here. And the H5 or HDF file is slightly different. It produces more output. So go to variables, you can see it's standard water flow data, and then you've got all the sediment stuff. So you've got sediment discharge at the outlets, or at all the rivers, for all the 7 different sediment sizes, erosion and depth of loose sediment. So that is the sediment bit. To run the snow melt is quite similar. So you go back up here, go to easy setup snow, examples, Bridge. And again, these files are pretty similar before. There's a few new ones. You've got the temperature there, maximum temperature, daily temperature there, minimum there. And the XML file is actually slightly different. So if we open that with WordPad, those temperature files are pointed out here. And you've also got this snow melt degree day factor there. So if you want to run this, it's the same as before. Go to program, and this one you've got the Shetran prepare is Shetran prepare snow. So double click on start, it will run Shetran prepare snow, and then the standard Shetran executable here. Make sure we're in the right place. No, easy sediment. snow examples air Celtic Bridge, and there's the XML file. So it uses those ASCII grids and the XML file, and it produces the Shetran input files. So if we go back to those, then these are very similar to before, but we've got this new SMD file, snow melt data file. Uses the snow melt uses a degree day factor, which is the simplest method. There is the option of using the energy budget method, but we haven't got. Normally, you don't have enough data for that, so this uses the degree day factor, which is the key P parameter there. And the FRD file is different from before because see here, there's a T here. T for snow melt's turned on. So again, I'm going to pause this. Okay, so the simulation's finished. So if we press enter, the two things I forgot to say were that in the visualization plan, there's now another output, snow depth, which is here. And of course, the other thing that's changed is the run data file. You need to say where the snow melt is, and that's defined there. So the output files look similar to before. Obviously, the water flow files are different from before. The actual values in them anyway, because the snow melt will change all that. And the H5 output again has some new output type, new variable type 6 snow depth. So you can look at that data.